Okay, hi there, welcome everybody. Welcome back to, yes, it's Mark Bodie here again. So, I've had a bit of a break from doing these sessions. So, coming back, and this is session number 80 now. So, in a way, it's like phase 3 of this whole project. So, in the past, I've kind of done sessions on friendship, on meditation, on Buddhist metaphysics, on including things like Buddhism and science and secular mindfulness. We had a session on a series on the Tibetan Book of the Dead and the Five Buddha Mandala, on coping with the lockdown. It's been loads of different topics I've covered so far, and the last tranche of sessions was meeting the order. So interviewed quite a few order members, and they led some practice. So I think having had a little bit of a break, I think what I want to do maybe this week is to just kind of review where we're up to as a global community. What's it's like about 4 months roughly into the lockdown, and just kind of like maybe sort of just address that a bit personally, and also just what's happening kind of worldwide. And the theme here is kind of coping really with the lockdown. And so there's a phrase that comes up often in the Buddhist scriptures, where the Buddha says the monk or the practitioner sees the gratification, danger, and escape in whatever he's talking about. So it might be a teaching like the 5 spiritual faculties or something like that. Or so what that means is that with anything, there's a gratification, which means there's a way in which we kind of benefit from it. There's a way in which it helps us in some way or other. There's a danger. So with anything, there's almost like a blind side or a shadow side or something to it. So in some ways, you might have experienced the lockdown as beneficial compared to your life before. Like quite a few people I know who have got full-time jobs and responsible jobs in offices, like in hospitals or in the city and things like that. I've really enjoyed just being at home, being able to work from home, and so there's a gratification there in that, in the lockdown for them. But there's also a kind of danger in anything really. So what's the danger? Well, it might be that we get kind of too used to things being a certain way, or comfortable, like staying at home. We get a little bit institutionalized or something like that. So the Buddhist tradition is always trying to get us to keep our eyes open to what might come. What changes might be there. What the fact that everything is subject to the law of impermanence means that we have to be on the alert all the time for the danger in things. What's the danger here? Might have settled down into something, and then when it changes, I might get a bit of a shock. And then you've got the escape. The gratification, danger, and escape. So the escape, in a way, is the way to nirvana or enlightenment, or how how to just overcome the problem altogether, so that we don't end up in a situation where we're subject to change. We just expect change. We expect it to happen, so we escape from that the delusion of thinking things are going to carry on when they might not, and all that sort of thing. So yeah, gratification, danger, and escape. I thought I'd sort of mention that a little bit. So I'm going to talk later a little bit about. I'll just kind of do a little bit of a review about the lockdown and my own experience of it, and but also I thought it's quite interesting what's happening in the world in terms of people's attitudes towards wearing masks and things like that. And so what I thought I would do is go back to my kitchen studio, diagram, and try just have a look at what might be happening there. When people are kind of just kind of going into bars, not wearing masks, and what's actually going on, from a Buddhist point of view. So I thought that might be an interesting thing to explore today. And I'll also mention somebody that I found impressive on the internet dealing with the whole COVID-19 situation. So yeah, okay. So we'll begin as we usually do with some physical exercise, warm up. So if you want to stand up, we'll begin with that. So beginning by just rub your hands together, backs of your hands, and brushing down your arms. Just give your face a little bit of a wash with your hands. Now just hold your hands over your face, just enjoying the feeling of warmth in the palms of your hands. And enjoying your breathing, the moisture in your breath. Just give your temples a little bit of a massage. Shake everything out. And just drumming on top of your head. And take a few deeper breaths. And then just going over the top, give you the top of your back, a bit of stimulation. Try to get onto your spine. And the other side. And chest. Down the outside of your arm. On the back of your hand, make it a bit painful. Palms. And the other side. Just brushing down your body. And just drumming on your kidneys at the back. And on your buttocks more heavily. Down your legs. And check everything out. So just settling into your meditation posture. So just allowing your body to naturally just rise up from the cushion, the chair. Just reflecting that your body knows how to sit down. It doesn't need any help from your mind to do that. So you're just allowing your body to support itself, the structure of your body, to the bones of your body to take the weight. So you just need to make sure that you're balanced. You're not leaning over on either forwards or backwards or side to side. Because if you are, you need to be holding on a particular side to hold yourself up. So if you can just focus on on being balanced, then the muscles of the body can just feel confident that they can let go and relax. Relaxation is a physical thing. It's like unfurling a fist. So just allowing any tension in your body to just unfurl. So all the muscles of your body softening and relaxing. Softening in the face. Softening in the jaw and the back of the throat. Softening across the shoulders. And around the heart area. having a sense that that the structure of the body can support us to be aware of our emotions. So we're going to do the Metta Bhavana, loving kindness meditation today. So first of all, being aware of how we're feeling at the moment. Whether we feel happiness or whether we feel sad, tense or relaxed. Spacious or constricted. Just recognizing how our experience is just changing all the time. Independence on conditions, so we can just wake up in the morning feeling good, or we can wake up feeling awful, just depending what's been happening. This is our life. This is what life is like. One thing we do have control over is our response to all of that. Having a response of care, of wishing the best for ourselves and our experience. We begin the Metta Bhavana. May I be well, may I be free from suffering and make progress. And the second stage, developing loving kindness towards a good friend. The third stage, developing loving kindness towards a neutral person. Loving kindness towards somebody we find difficult. So in the fifth stage, bringing to mind all four people that we've used in the meditation. And try to equalise the amount of care, kindness that we would want to have towards each of them. May they all be well. And including in your meditation people who live in the same building as you do, in the same street. May they be well. And expanding it out beyond them to include people in the region, around you, the town or village. People of different ages and social groups. Wishing them all well. And including non-human beings, animals and birds, fish, insects. Seeing clearly how none of them wish suffering on themselves. They all want to be well, to be happy, to be prospering. So it's allowing your warmth to flow out towards them. And finally, including all beings everywhere in the universe. So now just coming back to your body, your experience sitting here. Becoming aware of the room that you're in, the world outside, the weather, sensations in your body. And in your own time, bringing this meditation to a close. Okay, so we'll move on to today's topic. So the last of the months, what's frequently happened is, prior to when I was doing the interviews, I would have the ideas about what to do quite late on, really, and it's a bit the same really today. So I just thought, actually, what needs to happen is some sort of review of where we're all at, where we're at, and so basically, I started doing these sessions on the 17th of March. So what's that? March, April, May, June, July. It's just over 4 months ago, and I've done 79 sessions. Today's number 80, and it's lots happened really in the last 4 months. Many people have. We've just learned how to try and cope with it with the lockdown, with being indoors, and people have had different strategies around that. I'm sure lots of people have worked their way through Netflix and all the videos on Amazon Prime, whatever, and tried out new hobbies. Everyone's garden, all the gardens are looking fantastic. I went into it's like it's the last day of the Premier League season yesterday, and my team, Man United, were in a battle with Leicester City to get into the top four to qualify for the Champions League. So I went with a couple of friends from the Buddhist centre, and we went and watched the match in the pub. So I had a kind of mask on, and I was very aware of things like ventilation, and it was really interesting because they didn't have any sound on in the football. Normally they have this fake crowd sounds because they're all playing the matches in empty stadiums, so they have the fake sounds, but they didn't have the fake sounds because they thought that if people got excited, then they would start spraying the virus around, you know. So that was really interesting. And I've got into, well, I've got slightly obsessed with looking at the updates on YouTube about the virus COVID-19 around the world. And you get a lot of you get all sorts of stuff on like American news channels and things, and British, you know. But you often get a sense that people are presenting something, and it's almost like there's a way in which they're presenting a kind of a, they're trying to convince us of something, or there's something behind it. You know, there's maybe some kind of political agenda. So they won't talk about masks at one point, and then they will talk about them, and you know, all that sort of stuff. And what I found really interesting is there's this guy called John Chapman, and he lives in Carlisle, and he's in the UK, and he's basically a kind of I think he's done a lot of training of nurses in the past, often out in the Southeast Asia, and he's just got a fantastic, like, clear mind. So what he does is he presents the updates on what's happening on YouTube videos. They're about 20 minutes long or 30 minutes, something like that. And he'll go into, you know, what's happening in America and and he'll write it all out. He'll put a sheet of paper there, and he'll then go through it methodically. You know, this is what's happening, and you just get the facts from him. You know, and it's so much better to be getting the facts rather than what somebody might be trying to convince you of something. So maybe they're withholding some facts, and you know. And he's just got a really kind of clear, you know, scientific mind. And yeah, one of the things that the other day he was saying was that you know, they did a random test of how many of people having antibodies to COVID-19 in New Delhi, and they're just randomly selected, you know, maybe like 100 people or 200 people or something like that. It's not a very big sample, and what they found was like about 22% of those people had antibodies to the virus, which meant that they probably had the virus, you know, and that's a city of 26 million people. So you're talking about, yeah, you know, I don't know how many it is, you know, 7 million people with the virus in New Delhi, you know. So it's like, when you get to hear things like that, it kind of really, it puts it in perspective, you know, proper perspective, really, you know. I mean, how much healthcare of those people, those, you know, often very poor people in India got, you know. And you know, one of the members of our order died of pneumonia associated with COVID-19 last week. He lives in Pimpri in India, and yeah, so it's hard to. I think one of the things you know, Buddhism tries to get us to do is to have clear comprehension. So, you know, people are often kind of banging on about mindfulness, you know, mindfulness this, mindfulness that, you know, about being aware in the present moment. But when you look into the Satipatthana Sutta, it doesn't just say mindfulness; it says mindfulness and clear comprehension. It's like sati is mindfulness, and clear comprehension is sampajanya, sometimes translated as mindfulness of purpose or something like that. But it's like having a clear idea of how things, of the situation that we're in, you know, which is what John Chapman's giving us in terms of the COVID. He's trying to present a clear overview of everything, and then you get to, from there, we can then kind of act responsibly in relation to that. So so we've had all this toing and froing around, people using the COVID pandemic facts as a bit of a political football, and people in America, people saying it's my right to not have to wear a mask or whatever it is, and all that sort of stuff. So there's all sorts of different issues going on around the whole thing, and it can sort of be a bit frustrating, really, that you just think that actually there's a lot. These people sometimes they're just being deluded about. It's like they're getting things mixed up, getting one thing mixed up with another thing. Sort of personal freedom, is really important to lots of people, and then that is somehow mixed up with what you do around healthcare, or taking responsibility for other people, your effect on other people. So anyway, I've got something I'd like to try, which I'm not 100% clear about. I've not rehearsed this before, but what I'm going to try and do is to talk around the whole issue using the model of the 4 foundations of mindfulness, to sort of try and address like how what might be happening here, with these issues. Okay, so here we are again in the kitchen. Slightly different viewpoint as well. So these are the 4 foundations of mindfulness that I talked about before. So body, feeling, mind, which includes the emotions and views. So these two, body and feeling, are in a way we could call them experience, that they're just presented to us in life. We just have a physical experience, and we experience feeling, which is just pleasure and pain. It's just basically pleasure or pain or neutrality. It's the experience of pleasure and pain. So it's nothing to do with emotion. So an emotion is a response to pleasure and pain. So the emotion is up here. So we experience pain, and then we often don't want it. So would be aversion, or we experience pleasure. We want more of it. It's desire. It's an emotion. It's like often emotions are about wanting, and then so these we're just presented to us, and these we have a choice about. So we can work on our mind through meditation, mental states. We can work on our concentration. So there are 3 aspects to mind, or chitta. This is chitta. Attention. In a way, attention is conditioned by physical experience or experiences in the world, objects in the world. We've got emotion, which is conditioned often by feeling, and then we've got thought, thinking processes, which are experienced by different views. So when we've got more than one view, we often have to think about it and reflect, which is the better view, that sort of thing. Okay, so what happens when you've got these things happening in America, where somebody is concerned about their freedom, and they don't want to wear a mask. What's happening there? Okay. What is happening? Well, maybe what's happening, one thing that's happening is that their view of the work, their view of things is that they live in America and they believe in the American way of life because it gives them a sort of certain kind of freedom, kind of freedom to do whatever they like, to carry guns or whatever it is, So there's a kind of, it's part of the whole American culture, isn't it? From escaping from the confines of, West kind of European culture, and going to America and having that big, expansive continent to expand out into. So that the myth of freedom is really important. So a view conditions. Views condition emotions. So, when if we think that freedom is the most important thing for us, then that's what we will go about doing. We'll go about being free. We won't restrict our activities in the world. Now, feeling has three aspects. There's three ways in which feeling comes about through the body. So this is bodily sensation, or just sensation. So it's like we injure ourselves and it's painful, or we have something nice happens in our body, it's pleasurable, and then we've got feeling that comes about through views. So we think I'm inadequate or something, or I'm a failure, is a view we have about ourselves, and then we feel depressed or we feel down. It's painful to us, Or we feel we're fantastic, and then it's pleasurable to us. So it's like, this is mental feeling, this is bodily feeling, mental feeling. And then we've got feeling that comes about through our state of mind. And there are two types of that. There's what's called worldly feeling, which is when our state of mind is going to lead to suffering. So it's called an unskillful state of mind. So like, being selfish or something like that, it would be like that. Not thinking of others, and so if we just think we're just thinking about our own freedom or something, then and somebody wants something else to happen, then that becomes painful to us. But then we act on that pain by going on a demonstration with other people and and exposing ourselves to the virus, But we're doing it because we're in a kind of, we're not really thinking very clearly. We're in an unskillful state of mind. Now, if we're in a more skillful state of mind, we're kind of bearing everybody in mind. We've been doing a metta-bhavana, loving kindness meditation, and then we're thinking, oh yeah, I need to be careful about what I do with my body, because it might give other people, if I've got the virus, because I'm asymptomatic, if I've got the virus, and I might give it to other people, then I need to socially distance, I need to wear a mask, and I might go on the demonstration or whatever it is, I might go on the Trump rally, but I'm going to try my best to limit things. So that is a skillful state of mind, and then that leads to us to being bringing about the best for everybody, really. So other people don't then suffer because of our state of mind, So, but it's easy to just forget. So mindfulness is often about remembering. So, when I was in the pub yesterday, I was wearing a mask for most of the time, and I saw people in the supermarket wearing masks quite a lot. In fact, most people wearing masks, which I thought was really great. And in the pub, it felt a bit like there were people, hardly anybody was wearing a mask, but people were being kind of a bit mindful of themselves and distancing. But then when they got a little bit excited or more people came in, it's a bit like it sort of went out the window. So it's about mindfulness. It's about bringing our attention. So attention is important. You know, remembering what we're doing. We need that as well. We need to be grounded in remembering, staying aware of the situation, the facts of the situation. And it's easy for our emotions to just kind of get carried away, and we forget about grounding ourselves in the situation that we're in, the reality that we're in. So being mindful, paying attention to our mental state, so staying concentrated on what we're doing continuously and not forgetting it is important. Having a positive emotional response towards others, where we're being sensitive to the whole of us, all the people in the situation, is important. And keeping a kind of clear view about what's important in life. So, we might have freedom might be important in certain ways. If we're free, we often feel like we want to. Our energy's moving, isn't it? Unrestrictedly. But it's almost like we need to have that. If we're going to have that, we're going to have it. It's good to have it where our view also includes other people. It includes the whole community. So in a way, all views in a way are about happiness. They're about what's going to bring happiness. So maybe when we're sort of a little bit in that freedom is everything kind of view, that we think that is what's going to bring us happiness, and we forget about how interconnected we are with others, and what effect that our actions have on others. And maybe we've picked that view up through other people not being that sensitive towards us, and ignoring us. So views don't come from nowhere, they come from somewhere. They're conditioned. So if other people have been disregarding us or not valuing our opinion and all that sort of thing, we can just get entrenched in our own, we're reacting rather than responding with our views. So there's a whole way in which, when we have a dialogue, or we can have dialogue with others, and we can actually nuance our views towards others, with the help of a kind of gentle dialogue, gentle exploration. And what often happens is you get this polarization of between views, and people are just not really looking at each other's views and sort of seeing what's in that, where's that coming from, or is the value in that. They're just arguing from a sort of rigid dogmatic kind of position. So we're not going to convince people who have different views to us, unless we can kind of get them on side, give them sort of good reason, or give them a good explanation as to why, so what are the facts, So we got John Chapman is sort of trying to do that in the medical world, trying to give the facts to help people. And I was really pleased because I saw that he gets about 100,000 people looking at his posts on YouTube, and he does them about every day, But I was really pleased that one of the main American news networks got him on, and it was like, giving him much bigger kind of reach and everything. And it was really clear there, they really appreciate it. So I would really like it if, something happened like that around this, around understanding how these like weird things happen, in life, where we just do things that seem a bit mad, really, but we're doing it. We're doing it because of the operation of these conditions. These are the conditions that operate in life, and so we need to understand it better. This kind of model, if we're going to sort of see how we can change things for the better. So anyway, that's a little bit of an exploration of that. I hope that made some sort of sense. What else can I say about things? Well, yeah. I mean, we have to, if we are to kind of keep all the different, in a way, we can see working on these different areas is like spinning plates on, you see the magician going and spinning all the plates, kind of keep all the plates spinning. So it's easy to, when we're in a different sort of situation like we are in the lockdown, for things to kind of drift a bit, So, for instance, with like physical exercise, I mean, I noticed that I'm struggling a bit more with that, because I was going into work 22 hours a week and on a cleaning job on a building site, and I'd cycle in, so I was just using, just getting plenty of exercise and doing physical work and stuff. And it's harder to do that indoors, or just got on my bike and go somewhere, but it's not so regular. But also the whole thing of as we're sort of a bit more on our own and we've just got the news media and all that sort of thing, it's harder to keep the whole idea of the world beyond us going, or I've noticed that it's hard for me to imagine what it's like for people who are still working, and regularly, like my friend Prasadu, he's a senior psychologist in the NHS, and he just had a 3-day break, but it's the first one he's had in 16 weeks, so that's probably he's doing 7 days a week. So it's hard to keep imagining it's hard to keep a sense of the world, unless you can have a sense of what everybody's doing and keep up to date with that. So to do that, it's like we have to do things like recite maybe sort of Buddhist verses that bring to mind other beings. So yeah, I'm just going to go and get one. So I find it really helpful to keep reminding myself of the situation in terms of me and the world out there, and the situation of other people. So this is the final part of a puja, which is a devotional text from the Sutra of Golden Light, and it's dedicating the what I've just done, or the activities, or meditations, this talk, to all beings. So by this good act, may I ere long become a Buddha. May I preach the Dharma for the welfare of the world. May I deliver beings oppressed by many woes. May I overcome Mara with his might. May I turn the wheel of the excellent Dharma. May I remain for inconceivable aeons. May I fulfill the 6 unrivaled perfections. May I smite the impurities, may I destroy woes, may I extinguish craving, hatred and folly, may I constantly recollect the great sages, may I always listen to their speech, for it is noble. And by this good act may I always find a meeting with the Buddhas, may I utterly avoid evil action, may I practice the good acts, the source of all excellence, everywhere in the spheres of all beings, may all the woes of the world be extinguished, may the experience of misery touch no one, and may all beings be endowed with good fortune, may they have beautiful, gracious, auspicious forms and continuously enjoy numberless blessings, may there be not one being of angry look, may they all be of noble aspect, creating light for one another, may all their desires be fulfilled as soon as they think of them, through their merit and its fruit, may all beings constantly witness the Buddhas of the 10 directions, may they hear them expound the Dharma, may they all find the Sangha, that's a community of Buddhists. The evil acts performed by me, committed in the misery of life, evil acts bringing an undesired fruit, may they all be destroyed without remainder. May all beings who dwell in the bondage of life, bound with the firm fetters of cyclic existence, may they be delivered from their bondage by the gentle hands of wisdom. May they be delivered completely from all their woes. May they all become Buddhas. So thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow.